Welcome, SKOOL members, to this episode or edition of Tarot and Transits. I think that I'm going to upload this to YouTube. So if you see this on YouTube, come join House of Arcana on the SKOOL app. Our premium tier, it gives you access to all the tarot and transits, as well as a monthly tarot reading from your girl on whatever subject you'd like. And so that's part of the tier. You also get access to our full moon meditations with Keisha, as well as Astro Reiki for each astrological season. So it is a steal of a deal. And so go ahead, check out SKOOL app and House of Arcana on there, and you get access to all of these. But let's go ahead and get into this edition. This is Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So Mercury went retrograde last Monday, so that was the 29th. And it'll essentially be retrograde until the 29th of July. So we're in the thick of it. It's getting started. But this Mercury retrograde is very unique because it is in a water sign. Of course, Mercury is a very mental energy, right? It's how our mind processes things. It's how we understand. It's how we perceive. And so water energy, emotions, doesn't really like to get along. But what's happening with this particular transit is it's giving us an opportunity to revisit, reevaluate, reanalyze, reconnect, remember what we need in order to repair our relationships. And so it's a very repairing kind of energy. It doesn't have this, of course, it's a Mercury retrograde, so all the classic things, like double checking things and being mindful of, technology and your car and all that stuff. That's fine, but not every Mercury retrograde has that same signature. It's not gonna present the same way because the energy is different. And that's the cool thing about energy reading, right? Every signature that we have in the energy is different depending on what it is and what else is happening around it. So right now, we have Jupiter that just moved into Leo. We have the end of the nodes. They're about to shift. We have Neptune going retrograde this week. We're already in a Pluto retrograde. Mars just moved into Gemini. Venus is in Leo. We have, what else off the top of my head? I'm missing a few things, but my point is what's happening in context to this specific transit, it's going to express itself differently. And so with this, we're really getting an opportunity to move forward, to get some real healing, to get some real resolve around something that has been emotionally causing us some type of hiccup or some type of block. Whether it's healing so you can move on and just completely just start anew, whether it's repairing something so that you guys, or whatever the situation is, you can start anew with the same, energy, but in a new light and a new understanding, right? Mercury. Or if it's just a internal kind of remembering of what you really need to feel nurtured, loved, cared for, and how that can get reconciled within the mind so that you feel more aligned with your choices and how you are perceiving the world around you. So it's giving a lot of healing energy with it being in Cancer. And it's allowing us to move forward with Cancer being a cardinal sign. So although we're doing a little retrograde, we're also moving forward simultaneously because this is fixing something, repairing something, healing something that's been getting in the way or not acknowledged or brushed under the rug, or we'll get to this later, or, oh yeah, we really didn't talk about that. Maybe we should talk about that kind of energy versus like, signed a contract and it's the worst thing I ever did in my life because it's Mercury retrograde. Like, no, you might want to sign a contract during this Mercury retrograde because it's something coming back up and now you have more understanding around it emotionally, so it feels more in alignment. That's another thing, right? It's not just about like retrograde is a slowing down so that we can look at things that maybe we've missed before. It's a slowing down so that we can reimagine how we are feeling or what it is that we need in order for us to feel more grounded, more rooted, more stable. It's just a very reflective energy, another reflective. So it's really a very helpful energy, Mercury retrogrades are, and it just comes with this like bad rep because it does slow the energy down. So with that slowdown, it can kind of be glitchy, but I feel like this glitch is helping us kind of like reorganize and heal something that maybe we just didn't want to deal with before, or now we're realizing we have dealt with it, so we get to approach things differently that's more helpful as we move forward. So that's my spiel on the energy itself. Let's get into the tarot of it all. I'm going to use my Galactic Star deck. So let's see what's coming through. What's the energy for whomever, anyone and everyone who sees this, whether you are already part of House of Arcana premium tier or you're getting this little sneak peek on YouTube. Please allow me to connect to whomever sees this and give them messages from their highest self for their greatest good and everyone else around them. And so it is. That is forever and always my intention when I do any readings. I do this work for you, not for me, not for validation of my connection with source or my connection to be able to read energy and translate it. I do this so I can be helpful. I do this so we can have some guidance, some understanding as we are all trying to just navigate our lives the best way that we can. So with this Mercury retrograde, Knight of Wands is our base energy. So there is this movement. I talked about the cardinal aspect of Cancer energy. The Knights are always in motion. So this is not a time to rest. This is not a time to put off. This is a time to go right at things and say, hey, actually, I've had a moment to actually think about it, feel about it, and these are the actions that I want to take. Okay, so I'll use an example, and this helps just bring you context. Recently, I had agreed to do a gig before retrograde. And I was thinking, right, this would be great because I get to use my, my business in a different way, and it's unique and it'll be fun. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Then the retrograde hit, and I sat and I said, I got to be honest with myself. This doesn't make any sense, right? Now I had time to rethink about my actions so that now with all the information and the reflectiveness of the retrograde, the slowing down of like, wait, now making a different decision allows me to move forward more confidently, but also with more like energy because that was a leak, right? So this, I'm bringing that into your awareness of like, where were you maybe leaking energy? And now you have an opportunity to kind of regain control over what direction and where and how you're using your energy in your life that's going to be more beneficial, more helpful, more healthy than maybe decisions that you had made before, maybe impulsively. Now you get to like record scratch, like actually about that. Let's see what's underneath it. The Death card. So the Death card's reversed. Something that we thought we were like, yeah, whatever it may be, right? It could be like, this isn't going to work. This, this situation, this relationship that I'm in, it's not going to work. I'm over it. And then the Death card reverse is like, are you over it? Or it could have been like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll do this thing. And then you're realizing, are you going to do this thing? So something is scratching the record with this Mercury retrograde that's making us revisit some type of action or decision that we've made. And so that we can actually move forward with more success. Ooh, the Judgment card. Wow, that's on the nose, you guys. This is God, Source, the universe saying like, hey, And you know what's, this is an aside and maybe very Mercury retrograde. I don't like to say the universe anymore because it's God, source, the all is really what I'm saying. The universe is a creation of God, source, the all, right? So anyways, that's just a little aside. Judgment. This is about God, source, the all, saying like, hey, you're at this a moment of being able to have a second chance. Judgment's about a renewal energy, a second opportunity to revisit something and make a different decision based off the past and what you're wanting for your future. So this is a perfect energy to be helping us during this retrograde, is that we have to keep those two things in our minds. The past, three things: the past, the present, and the future. What we did, where we are now, how we feel about it now, and then what do we want to ultimately happen as we move forward. So having those three kind of vantage points or perspectives, Mercury, can help us make a more sound judgment on whatever this is specific to your life, so that you can move ahead with the energy around it that feels like, okay, this is actually helping me grow, instead of kind of stunting or repeating or hindering that process. Let's see what's next. Love that. 3 of Cups, very Cancerian energy. This is this overwhelming sense of emotion, of this outpouring, and very soul energy sometimes with the 3 of Cups, and that's what I'm feeling here. It's like, what does the soul, the heart need to feel supported? Where do you feel support? You see everyone's kind of talking, hanging out with each other. This talks about like soul family, you know, like a group that makes you feel like seen, held, respected. And so we're making decisions and choices, and we're moving in the direction towards things that make us feel seen, held, respected. And it's like abundance, and we don't feel like it's detracting from us. Because going back to my personal example, if I would have gone through with that gig, it wouldn't have been supportive of me ultimately, and it would have drained my energy. And so there was a block there essentially that I had to revisit, right? Make a different decision. So here, where is something in your life right now that you're feeling like you need to make a decision on? Emotionally, how you feel about it, and how you are thinking about it, and coming to some type of consensus here between the mind and the heart, coherence, so that you feel full and you feel supported and you feel respected. You're respecting yourself or respecting other people. Think about those components as you are, however this is resonating with you specifically, right? We want to use the energy to help us stay in alignment with our highest self. And also use the energy to work through blocks so that we can grow, and that we are evolving past patterns that are unhealthy or unhelpful. And I usually like to pull 3 cards. 6 of Discs reverse, 6 of Pentacles. This is an assessment of what is deserving of our energy and what is not. What feels reciprocal and what doesn't. Where we might need to revisit and give more, or where we are realizing, you know what, I've done what I needed to do and I'm still not getting what I need. So I need to make a different decision so that I can feel more supported in my own personal journey as I move forward from this. So being mindful of where you're giving and what you're actually getting. Once again, I'll use the example. If I would have said yes to that gig, it would have been out of balance. I would have been giving so much of my energy, time, and resources and getting not the same equivalent back. It would have felt like a deficit. And then that would have felt unsupported. And then I would be here with the Judgment card looming like, I gave you an opportunity, Spirit would say. I gave you an opportunity. So where is Spirit giving you an opportunity to make a different decision around something that you are maybe wondering, is it worth your energy, worth your time, worth your effort? Are you getting back what you need? And if not, maybe making another decision, because that's what this retrograde is allowing us to do. It's allowing us to slow down, revisit, realign, so that we can move forward with more sureness, more confidence, and more excitement on what is to be our next adventure or our next step in our lives. So that is what we're getting here with this Mercury retrograde. Thank you guys. I hope this gave you some insight, some guidance, some clarity of some sort so you can apply this to your life. And I hope my example was helpful and gave you a way to kind of like orient yourself, which is why I shared it. And I know sometimes it can be like, girl, but I'm like, no, I think it's helpful because, you know, context is like so important. And as these are collective readings, and I tell people all the time, I don't know your lives. You know what I'm saying? I will never pretend like I know your lives because I don't. And even if you were sitting right in front of me, I'm still not God, source, the all. So I really don't know what is next. But I do know that you know where you are and what is happening specifically for you and how this energy is showing up in your life. So you can take this idea of a second chance of making sure that you feel supported and you're getting what you're giving in some manner so that you can move forward with confidence and have the changes that are necessary for you to do so. I know you can take that concept and apply it to your life. So leave me a comment below if you made it this far, especially if you see this little bonus on YouTube. And thank you so much to my House of Arcana premium tier members for supporting and being a part of this cool little collective. And I'll see you guys next time.